This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitsky. Well, we begin with our follow-up file. It has been 9 months since two young boys were reported missing from their home in California City. Orson and Orrin West's adoptive parents called police on December 21st to say they couldn't find the boys. Bakersfield police remain in charge of the investigation. Anyone with information on the boys' whereabouts or the circumstances surrounding their disappearance is asked to contact the Kern Secret Witness Hotline, where you can remain anonymous. That number is 322-4040. The reward for information leading to the boys' whereabouts is set at $125,000. Well, today also marks 9 months since college student Dane Elkins was reported missing. Elkins is an engineering student at UC Santa Cruz and is from Brentwood in Southern California. On December 21st, he was reported missing near I-5 and Temple and Highway north of Castaic. If you've seen Dane Elkins, you're asked to text or call 562-504-6005 or email a picture or video of Dane to searchingfordaneelkins@gmail.com. Turning now to new developments in the case of Gabby Petito, the 22-year-old woman who went missing in Wyoming while traveling with her fiance. The FBI believes they've located her body in Grand Teton National Forest, but are now working to confirm it. Now the hunt is on for her fiance, who vanished a week ago, but is considered a person of interest in her death. Katie Beck has the latest.
A cross-country investigation is underway. Authorities searching for evidence in the Gabby Petito case while trying to track down her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, who's been missing for a week. On Monday, FBI agents scoured the Florida home of Laundrie's parents, where Gabby and Brian also lived, declaring it a crime scene. The family escorted from the house as investigators took photos in the backyard around a storage shed, even towing a vehicle from the driveway. Authorities suspended a search in a dense wildlife area where Laundrie's family told them Brian went for a hike last Tuesday. Just days later, a body believed to be Petito's was discovered in Wyoming.
We continue to seek information from anyone who utilized the Spread Creek dispersed camping area between the dates of August 27th and August 30th. Anyone that may have had contact with Gabby or her boyfriend.
Our plan for today is to just hang out.
The couple has spent months on the road together, posting upbeat content on social media about their van life adventure. But on August 12th, witnesses in Utah called 911, reporting a dispute.
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
A short time later, footage from police body cameras captured Petito appearing distraught.
We just been fighting all morning and he wouldn't let me in the car before.
According to a newly released affidavit filed by Northport Police, the responding officer in Utah described it as a mental health crisis, not a domestic assault. The case has fascinated people nationwide, with many amateur sleuths sharing tips and spreading theories online, including on TikTok, where the Gabby Petito hashtag has gone viral, viewed more than 500 million times. Laundrie, who has not been charged with a crime, has refused to speak with police, citing the advice of a lawyer. He has also not reached out to Gabby Petito's family in any way, according to her father, who sat down with Dateline's Andrea Canning.
There is no way that you come home on a trip with the love of your life. You've been in a van for 2 months and you tell no one. You don't answer phone calls. Your parents don't answer calls. No one says nothing.
And that was Katie Beck reporting. Now to your 17 Court Watch. The verdict is in for two men that killed a father and son during a robbery of a Lamont gas station in 2016. When the first verdict was read, Darnell Hammond looked toward the ceiling and began to cry. Both he and co-defendant Jim Langston were found guilty of 2 counts of murder, robbery, and other charges. A Kern County jury found the men acted on behalf of the Country Boy Crips street gang when they killed the father and son. The jury will return to court next week to begin the penalty phase for Hammond, who faces the death penalty. Langston is set for sentencing October 20th and faces life without parole. Well, here at home, ICUs are at their highest level in 8 months as the county continues to deal with the third surge. Now, Kern Public Health reported 6 new deaths along with 446 new cases. Our death toll sits at 1,521 lives lost to the virus since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, the good news, the average number of people getting sick each day is declining. However, state data shows 309 people are in the hospital with COVID-19. Another 80 are in the ICU. Well, COVID-19 has now killed about as many Americans as the Spanish flu. According to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University, the reported number of COVID deaths in the U.S. crossed 675,000 on Monday. Of course, that number is expected to rise as the U.S. averages more than 1,900 deaths per day. The nation is currently experiencing yet another wave of new infections fueled by the fast-spreading Delta variant. The 1918 flu was considered America's deadliest pandemic in recent history until now. Well, Johnson & Johnson has announced the results of a study looking at the performances of its single-dose COVID vaccine and booster shot. The drug company says, according to real-world data, its vaccine is 79% effective against COVID-19 related infections and 81% effective against COVID-19 related hospitalizations. Those numbers did not fall off when the Delta variant became dominant in the U.S. Johnson & Johnson also says their data shows a booster shot at 6 months or later produces even better numbers, showing protection rates jumping to 94%. The company says it will report its findings to the FDA and other public health regulators as the debate over the need for booster shots continues.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
Well, the Kern County Fair is back tomorrow for the first time in nearly 2 years. And there have been many challenges leading up to the first day as we're still in the middle of a pandemic. The fair's board of directors met for the last time ahead of the gates opening Wednesday. For the most part, this year's fair will look similar to fairgoers who walked in the grounds in 2019, but there will be some changes. Mainstays like the Kern County Bass Club, Bakersfield Fire, and the Kern County Fire won't have stations this year. Livestock exhibits are also going to be down. About half as many animals will be shown compared to 2019. Fairgoers won't need to provide proof of vaccination or mask up, but directors are strongly encouraging masking and social distancing procedures. The fair is partnering with the Kern County Public Health Department to offer a free vaccination clinic. No appointments are required. If you get the jab at the fair, you'll also receive a free admission ticket to the fair. And another way you can score free tickets to the fair, donate blood at Houchin Community Blood Bank. They're asking for a pint for a pass, providing free tickets to the fair. The deal runs through October 1st. They're offering 2 free adult tickets to each whole blood donor and 4 free adult tickets to platelet and plasma donors. To schedule an appointment, visit hcbb.com. In your 17 Health Watch, the Dignity Health Community Wellness Center is hosting a free mammogram event to kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month. When it comes to breast cancer, health experts say early detection is key. Early detection includes doing monthly breast self-exams and scheduling your yearly mammogram. Free screenings will be available Friday, October 1st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Raymond Garza Elementary School. For more information or to reserve an appointment, you can call 323-3238. Well, Instagram is known for having filters that can be fun to add to your photos, but we're taking a closer look into the harm it's causing to teenage girls. Jennifer Bizram reports.
We tell girls to use their voices to tell us what they need. They're telling us what they need, and they're telling us that this app is toxic for them.
But the Instagram filters can be fun and flattering, but how does it really make teenage girls feel about their body images? Dr. Ruth Gerson is a child and adolescent psychologist.
Instagram and other image-based social media sites like that put forth an endless stream of just perfect bodies, and it really triggers this mental state that's been called compare and despair. And we see the consequences in that in the rising rates of depression, rising rates of anxiety, and rising rates of suicide in girls.
And this is something Facebook, which owns Instagram, knew for years, but allegedly did nothing about. According to the Wall Street Journal, the social media firm conducted a study of its own 2 years ago on the app's harmful effects on teenage girls, and the results are alarming. It revealed young users' states of mind after using the app led to an increase of anxiety and depression, social comparison, social media pressures for the perfect bodies and lives, and even suicidal thoughts.
In the study, they talk about how girls in Facebook studies said clearly that they felt like Instagram made them feel worse, and some of them even said it was a trigger for suicide. I think it's sort of a confirmation of every parent's worst fear.
Dr. Gerson says social media apps like Instagram are not only stealing children's time, they're crippling the confidence of young girls and their mental health, making them feel like they're not good enough. She says more time and money should be spent on their mental health.
And we as a society need to hold Facebook accountable. We need to force them to change their product to be safer for children. How many girls and how many young women are we willing to sacrifice to this idea of not regulating these companies?
This morning, clinical psychologist Dr. Corey Gonzalez joined us to explain how we can help our teens. He says it's important to set a time limit for social media usage with your kids. He also says parents should hold off on letting their kids use social media until they are in high school. He says maturity can play a big role. Welcome back. The community came out and helped us clear the shelters this weekend, but there are still dogs in need of a forever home. According to the Animal Care Center, 80 dogs are still available for adoption. That's why the shelter will be continuing to waive adoption fees until Saturday. During the Clear the Shelters drive, 140 cats and dogs were brought home, just 50 of them alone last Saturday. To see what pets are available, you can head to the Animal Care's website, bakersfieldcity.us/Animal Care Center. And the Bakersfield Animal Care Center isn't the only one offering incentives to adopt a furry friend. Assemblyman Vince Fong's third annual free Pet Adopt-a-thon to promote the adoption of dogs from local shelters is taking place October 4th at 10 a.m. Assemblyman Fong will cover the cost for the first 100 pet adoptions at Kern County Animal Services during the month of October. Fong will also be at the shelter to welcome families who are looking to add a new furry friend in their lives. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.